Hi YouTubers! Instead of my regular strangeness, I am going to read some literature. Let's start, shall we? The Telltale Heart by Edgar Allan Poe. You sound insane. You sound mad. I'm not calling you... No, alright, I am calling you mad. Only a good, sane friend would tell you the truth. And if you can't handle the truth, you are mad. George. Nervous. Very, very dreadfully nervous. But how can you say that I'm mad? And yet, look at how calmly I can tell you this whole story. You're babbling incoherently, you're acting strange. Buddy, I'm your friend. What happened to you? What happened? Now I want to know. Talk to me about your crap, because I got the best coffee. Yeah, right. Working stiff. You look like a bum. What happened? Please. I had been and am the most sane man you've ever met. But why will you say that I'm mad? I'm telling you what I heard was real. Huh? I was not hallucinating. And I don't need a doctor. Let me finish. Hey. Okay, alright. Continue. Dear Lord. George. Hear me out. I need to tell a friend. It is impossible to it is impossible to say how first the idea entered my brain. But once conceived, it it haunted me day and night. Objective? There was none. Well, there was one objective. And I'll get to my point, George. Passion? There was none. There were passion. You would know about it, George. You know me. I didn't want his woman. I had no objective in taking her. I love this man. Like my own poppy. He never wronged me. He never wronged me. George, He had never done anything to me. I think it was that eye. That eye. I see it today. I still see it in my dreams. I still see that eye in my nightmares. Taunting me, taunting me, taunting me! Taunt! It's here as I speak to you. Dang it. Shh. Listen. To you. Continue. Let me finish. He had never insulted me, not once. It seemed so kind. Yes, he was a kind old, generous coot. He resembled the eye of a vulture. Dreadful beast. There was a pale blue, awful filament just dangling right there over too. George, you just don't understand, George. You weren't there, you didn't see it. So disgusting, so like at any night, any time he could take at me. That vulture eye. Vulture's eye. Whenever it fell upon me, my blood ran cold, and so by degrees, very gradually, very gradually. I made up my mind to take the little man's life. I did, George, I did! But be quiet and let me finish, will you? I knew that if I told anybody this, they'd think I was crazy, they'd think I was mad, and my actions already... You are mad. You got flying here, George. Well, let me finish. And I know why I am not, and I am telling you that I am not mad, and I am telling you that this is the truth, and I am telling you I heard that sound. Now shush. And this is my point. You fancy me mad. Madmen know nothing. Madmen know nothing. But, oh, you should have seen me. You should have seen how wisely I proceeded. With what cunning, with caution. I went to work. I was never kinder to the old fool than during that entire week before I killed him. And every night, around midnight, I would turn the little doorknob of his door and open it, oh so slow, gracefully. And I would every midnight open that door and then I would stick my head in, thrust my head in, and moved it slowly. So that I might not wake the man who was asleep. It took me about an hour to place my whole head in. I think about an hour. I could see the old man upon his bed. Oh, but every night that vulture was closed. But I could not complete my mission. For it was not the old man that vexed me, but it was his eye. Look like this. Right here. George. It's not human. His eyes, George. His eye. To think that there I was, opening the door, just a little by little, and he not even dreamed of what I was thinking.
Every morning when the day broke, I went boldly into the chamber and spoke courageously to him, calling him by name in a hearty tone, and inquiring, "Oh, how did you pass the night?"
"John, the night was fantastic. I didn't hurt through the night. I was fine. Right now I am reading the papers. Let me have my quiet time, please."
But that's right, George. Every night I went to that room, and one fateful night,
I fairly chuckled at the idea. Yeah. Even perhaps he heard me, for he shot up out of that bed, and he said, "Who is there?" I did not move. I did not dare move. But I could tell you now that he did not see me, for his room was as pitch as black. Yes, I knew he could not see me. However, the old man did not lay down, not for an instant, because I did not hear him lie down. I kept quiet. I stayed still, said nothing, for a whole, probably an hour. I just did not move a muscle. The windows had been barred, of course, because he had miscreants breaking into his room, stealing things. Presently, I heard a slight groan, and I knew it was the groan of mortal terror. Groan. Mortal terror was not a groan of pain, not a groan of grief. Oh no, oh no, you might think that, would you? It was the low, stifling sound that arises from the bottom of the soul. It sort of distracted me. And I know that he had been lying awake just ever since the first slight noise. He had... Here's the funny thing, George. He had fancied them all costless. He had no reason to fear these noises. Or maybe the floorboards creaking of age. At night, yes, he has been trying to comfort himself with these suppositions. But he had found them all. All in vain, George! All in vain! He was in danger. He was in severe danger, George. Very patiently, George, I waited, resolved to open a little. Just a very little crevice in the lantern. So I opened it. On that vulture eye was open. I'm okay, George. Next is the hardest part to tell you. I have not told you that what you mistake for madness is but over-acuteness of senses. Now I say, there came to my ears a low, dull, quick sound, and this is the one. I hear the sound and you say that I act mad. A hellish sound, such as a tick in a watch. Tick-tock, tick-tock. You ever hear of Captain Hook and his incessant clock in the crock? Tell you now, I am Captain Hook. I am Captain Hook. I am since Captain Hook because I hear the sound. Do you know what the sound was? It was the sound of the old man's beating heart! It increased my fury as the beating of a drum. The old man's terror must have been extreme, for it grew louder. I said louder every moment. Hear me well. I have told you that I am nervous. I refrained and stood still, but the beating grew louder, louder. I thought the heart must burst. The sound would be heard by the neighbor. The old man's hour had come. Oh. Ah! I threw open the lantern and leapt into the room and shrieked. Yes, he was dead. The old man was stone dead. I removed the bed and examined the corpse. Yes, he was dead. His eye would trouble me no further. I was relieved, George. I was relieved. George, if you still think that I'm mad, you will not think it any further. Once you hear the way that I disposed of the body, I took up 3 planks from the flooring of the chamber and disposed all between the scandions. I then replaced the boards, oh so carefully, all so cleverly, so cunningly, that no human eye not even his, could have detected anything wrong. As the bell sounded the hour, there came a knocking at the street door. I went down to open it with a light heart, for what had I now to fear? There entered 3 men who introduced themselves with perfect suavity as officers of the police. A shriek had been heard by the neighbors during the night, suspicious of foul play.
I think there might be
I smiled, for what had I to fear? I bade the gentleman welcome. The shriek, I said, was my own in a dream. The old man I mentioned was absent in the country. I took my visitors all over the house. I bade them search well. I brought them chairs into the very room that I buried him in, to let them rest from their fatigues, while I myself, in the wild audacity of my perfect triumph, placed my own seat upon that very spot where he was, underneath the floorboards. The officers were satisfied. My manner had convinced them. I felt myself getting pale, and I wished them to go. My head ached, and I fancied a ringing in my ears. Oh, that same terrible noise I told you about. That same noise, George. It was increased, and what could I do? It was a low, dull, quick sound, much such as a sound as a watch makes when enveloped in cotton. I gasped for breath, yet the officers heard it not. I talked more quickly, I couldn't make out speech. But the noise steadily increased. Why would they not be gone? The noise steadily increased. Oh God, what could I do? I foamed, I raved, I swore, I swung the chair. Was it possible they heard not? Almighty God, no, they heard. They suspected. They knew, George. They were making a mockery of me, a mockery of my horror. This I thought, and this I still think. No, I don't think it. I know it. I could bear these hypocritical smiles no longer. I felt that I must scream and die. And now, again, hark! Louder! 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 Villains! I shrieked. Disassemble no more. I admit the deed. Tear apart the planks. Here and here. It is the beating of his hideous heart.